A day in the life of a real estate agent. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see what we got here. So I am Sophia Swan. Obviously, I am on the ALC. I am in charge of education. If you don't know me, we have some new agents in the house. Yes. We have Benny in the house to help us with this class today. So I love this class, right? Because I get so many agents coming to me saying, what do you do? I don't have anything to do. And you know, obviously if you're a new agent, that might be true. You don't know what to do. So that's why this is a great class for you guys to be at. But even if you're a seasoned agent, there should never be a day going by where you say there's nothing to do. Right. There's always something to do, right? So what successful agents do every single day, obviously, is grow their business and run their business. In order to grow the business, we are lead generating absolutely every day for buyers and sellers. We're making seller listing presentations and getting listings. We're making buyers presentations and getting listings, and we're previewing real estate. I know these are the things that we should be doing every single day, but there's a lot of us who don't. Did you preview something today?
I did. No,
we just previewed something, me and Deanna. Hey, that's right. That's why I was a little bit late. But we previewed the property, right? So that should be a habit that you guys get in the gist of doing absolutely every day. And we'll see that throughout the presentation. Of course, while you're growing your business, you need to also maintain and run your business. So making sure you market seller listings, you show buyer houses, you negotiate contracts, transaction management to closing, vendor management, set your goals, compliance/risk management, attend training and get coaching, and manage your money, which is really big. So I'm curious, I'm just gonna throw a question out there. Does anybody have anything they want to share in regards to what they are grateful for thus far in their journey in this whole program?
Meaning what? I know people take that.
Like what have you done so far that you guys have learned that you're grateful for? Like, for example, in the past classes, have you learned anything that you actually have implemented and that you are grateful that you have learned? Anybody? Or what opportunities do you see for yourself? What are you excited about? What are you looking to learn in this class?
I could say something if you like.
Thank you so much, Dan.
So farming has always been in the back of my mind, and through these classes, it gave me a little bit more knowledge and confidence to actually pull the trigger. And I did start about 2 weeks ago, my very first farm, and launched it. So that's why I am grateful to these classes and all the agents that provide and bring their knowledge to it. So.
I love it, Danny. Now, Danny's old school. He's been around the block for a very long time. And this just shows you, even as a seasoned agent, you're constantly learning and implementing new systems into your business all the time, right? So thank you so much for sharing that, Danny. So today our topic will provide a realistic view of a successful agent's day. You'll learn that real estate is truly a full-time business. And even though if you are working part-time, you can still make it full-time. Full-time. I have my own business, full-time business, and it's running, and I'm still here absolutely every day, working even more than I work back. And then Benny was a postal service essential worker, and he was able to build a great business as well, being able to do two things. So no matter what you do, you can do it all, right? So fast, sometimes fast. So Keller Williams in his book, The One Thing, quotes F.M. Alexander, who's an educator and a thespian. All right, and one of the things that he says is people do not decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. Let me say it again, because sometimes when I say fast, they don't understand. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. So this is one of my favorite quotes, and I suggest that you guys copy, paste, put it up on your mirror, bulletin board, whatever vision board you have, right? Because what does this mean to me? I could say I want $1 million, but what am I doing today? What habits do I have today that's going to get me to $1 million? I could say I want to sell 24 properties, but what habits are you putting in place today that is going to get you to those 24 properties?
Exactly.
Right? Somebody say amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. So it's a really, really good quote that we need to live by, because even to this day, I'm trying to build good habits to get me to double my numbers for next year. I'm always growing. It's building good habits in order to be a leader, to be able to lead a team next year.
That's more important than even motivation. That's one of the things I've been learning. The people, because some days you're not going to be motivated, and if your habits are there, you'll still do it. That's what greatness is, the habits you do.
The habits you do, and I know I'm a big basketball fans. I look at Kobe Bryant, I look at the mentality of Michael Jordan. These people, you speak to people, Mark Metzler, like I surround myself with people that think the same like me, and I'm waking up 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Because I want to do extra before Deanna even rolls over in her bed, right?
They outwork everybody, that's why.
They outwork everybody. So I live and breathe this quote right here. So I really think that it's positive. The goal of today's session is to develop a plan for how to use your time effectively to fulfill the company mission, to build a career worth having, business worth owning, a life worth living, experiences worth giving, and a legacy worth leaving. Start habits now that will ultimately create the future you want for yourself. By the end of this module, you will have an updated 401. You will learn a little bit about time blocking your calendar and develop an accountability plan with your accountability partner. So this is a brief overview, right? Already they go straight to it and show you what a typical calendar looks like. What are the key activities that need to be on your calendar? If it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. Today, for example, one of the reasons why I was late was one of my listings. We get in the final water meeting. He told me yesterday I didn't put it in my calendar, so here I am meeting with Deanna, forgot about the water. You see what happens? It wasn't in there. Yeah. So I am still learning to use my Google Calendar. I'm just starting to use my phone. I have a book as well, but when I have a note here to say that you have to honor your calendar, and if you honor your calendar, you honor yourself. Like that's real, right? If you say you're gonna prospect and every day you don't prospect, you're not honoring your goals and your dreams. So that's what I want you guys to take away from that. But let me ask you again, I'm asking for participation. I know you're seeing the calendar, but what do you think successful agents do every day?
Pick people. What does this mean?
Okay, I can't even, okay.
George is on here.
George.
He was on at the beginning.
All right, forget about that. It's only 9 people on here. So at the beginning of every day, all right, you guys need to get motivated. You should get motivated by reviewing your goals and your plan for the day. Motivating activities vary, right? So it depends on each individual. Choose activity that focus you and get you energized to win the day. So let's talk about that. I say I wake up at 4 o'clock. And the reason why I do that is honestly, it's the only time I have for myself and my own mental, sanity. So I recommend that everybody reads The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. What that book has, it tells you a story about a real estate agent. He was a broker and how his business was going down, and then how he changed his life around once he implemented a routine. He implemented lifesavers, right? And what lifesavers is the SAVERS is the acronym, right? So SAVER, the S stands for silence, so meditation. The A stands for affirmations. The V stands for visualization. The E stands for exercise. The R stands for reading, and the S stands for scribing, which is like journaling, right? So the way I do it in the morning, and I'm gonna do textbook, I'm gonna do what's in here, but I'm also gonna give you insight to what I do every day. So like, what I do every morning is I do exercise, and at the same time that I'm on my machine, I'm reading a book on Audible, like I'm listening to a book. So I can knock two things out at one time, right? And then after that, literally, I have a book here. I think it's a 3 binder, but right now, and I'm OCD, right? So I practice my scripts. No, I know, joke. Look, Vinny, is this not me writing my scripts out every single day? Every day I'm writing out scripts. I don't have to do that, but I want to be the best, right? I want to master what I'm doing. So I still do that till this day, right? And so that's, for me, that's my scribing. I do Tony Robbins' priming video, which is about 10 minutes on YouTube. If you guys want to look into that, it's awesome. Literally, you're visualizing during that. Your gratitude is in that. You're visualizing gratitude. You're saying affirmations. Everything is intertwined in that 10 minutes. So literally, you only need about an hour to really get all this lifesavers done. So that's what I do in the morning, and I'm pretty much done by 6. And then I get my son ready, and everything else is in between that time. By the time I drop my son off, by 8:30, I'm sitting at my desk. If you are a prospector, obviously you want to prospect starting like at 8 o'clock. Some people do 7:30. I think that's too early, but definitely at 8 o'clock, right? I do 8:30 because that's the time, and it's going to be different for absolutely everybody. So what does that mean? As you can see, from 8:30 to 11:30, that's 3 hours. And I swear I don't need this thing, but you have to do your top 20%, which we're going to talk about a little bit in another couple of slides. But your 20%, your top things, your big rocks should be done immediately in the morning, right? So daily success habits, lead generation, that's you calling your sphere of influence. That's you writing out your 10 cards. That's you talking to past clients. If it was a perfect world, that would be you doing expired, you doing for sale by owners, you doing whatever your lead generation looks like, following up on social media ads. That's what you should be doing in the morning. One of the things that I am getting over right now is that you don't have to actually lead generate, be on the phones for 3 hours. You could break it up. So you could say sphere of influence is an hour. You could say writing out your 10 cards is another 30 minutes. You could say doing sphere social media lead generation is another hour. You could break it up and then leave an hour for follow-up, and that would be your whole 20% done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. It does have time here for lunch. Not everybody has time for that, right? But you should take time out for lunch. We have to be healthy. And then, of course, after that, this shows that run the business activities, marketing listings, negotiating contracts, attending trainings, which is so true. So I know everything that I need to do. My top 20% needs to be done by 12 o'clock because normally there's a class. Normally I'm in training or coaching or whatever it is at 12 o'clock. And normally I'm making appointments for my showings in the afternoon. From 2:30 to 4, grow the business activities, previewing real estate, making sellers presentations, meet with clients, 4:30 to 5:30, review calendar for tomorrow and make success lists. And then from 5:30 to 9:30 is family time. So again, this is going to change for everybody. I know that on my calendar, I have to pick up my son at 2:45. I know that I'm showing after, if somebody wants to see something in the afternoon, I can tell them off the bat, I can meet you there at 4:30 because that gives me that leeway to get to the first appointment at 4:30, right? So I usually go until about 8 o'clock in regards to business. Last night I was here, right? But it depends on your time. My family gets about an hour. No, I'm joking. That's funny. So does anybody have questions about this? Does anybody want to share what they do differently in regards to their schedule? No?
I mean,
eat
go ahead,
first.
you do?
I gotta eat first.
You gotta
Then
eat.
do the rest.
Oh, that's funny. She said she gotta eat first. Which is true. We don't even have breakfast on here. But honestly, I'm doing intermittent fasting, so 12 o'clock is good
Me
for
too,
me.
I don't need to work.
But
I wait till after this class.
what, yes, exactly. So again, cater it to what you want, but that top 20% that morning, I have some agents that do things in the afternoon. It depends on who you are, right?
Right.
Like, and how it works for you.
I mean, for me, so I'll just do it differently. I'll do showings in the evening
Mhm.
and I'll do family time on the weekends. I switch it up, like stuff like that. I'll work out after work instead of in the morning.
Yeah.
Just switching stuff around.
Yep, that's it. So successful agents make time every day for activities you've been doing during the daily success habits. Successful agents never stop lead generating and following up through phone calls, social media, writing notes. Then they split the time between other grow the business activities and run the business activities, which we just went through. The timing for these activities depends on your needs and schedule, but it is important that you include both run the business and grow the business activities in your day. We already know that what the grow the business activities are, as well as run the business, as we did say that earlier. At the end of the day, agents look ahead and block for the next day. Your schedule can shift based on client schedules, the listings and showing appointments, the market center's training calendar, and other items on the schedule. Remember to put your big rocks on your calendar first and then fill in the other activities. So I like one of the things that they said is planning ahead, which I find is really important. I have not diagnosed with ADHD, but my mind is always all over the place. So I do write down what I need to do the next day or I won't remember. Not that I won't remember, but I remember last minute, like what just happened to me, right? So if you have a list of things that you have to do the next day, it just helps it to go a little bit easier and a nicer transition. We already agreed that starting your day with lead generation and follow-up is a must, and lead generation is the core of a successful
Can we just talk about that a second? Because I think some agents, when they start, they don't understand what that means. Like a lot of agents, I say, like, I'm gonna get cars, I'm gonna give out the cars, they wanna tell people I'm a realtor, but that's not lead generation.
Yeah.
So maybe we could talk about different types of lead generation, what it actually is and how important if you don't do, that is your business, right? If you're not gonna lead gen, you'll get a couple of deals from people you know, but that's the end of it, right?
Correct. So if you lead gen, whatever you are doing for lead generation today is going to show up 90 days from today. That's what they say, right? So,
but like you said about lead gen, what are some forms of lead gen?
I'm telling you right now.
All right, sorry.
So some form of lead gen, which we talked about before, right? And I'm going to be specific because we want people to be clear. So prospecting is lead generation, right? So calling, in a perfect world, expires is lead generation. Being on the phone is lead generation. To me, farming is lead generation. To me, door knocking is lead generation, right?
Social media? Social
media is lead generation. Social media right now, if you put out an ad for one of your listings, and if you do it through command, you get their phone number, their email address, their full name. You can wake up at 8:30 in the morning and say, I'm gonna go through these 50 names and call absolutely everybody. I just did this with my mentee in the car, right? What am I saying? Hi, my name is Sophia Swan from Keller Realty Group. It looks like you were just interested in one of my properties. I was just wondering, are you still interested or can I help you find something else? Nice and easy. That's lead generation, having a two-way conversation.
Awesome.
And getting a lead, and you might not be, everybody might say yes, but oh my God, I'm learning so much, guys. Listen, so when you prospect and when you lead generate, right, your goal is to get no's.
Right, because the more no's you get, you're closer to the yes. Yeah, some people keep track of the no's.
Genius! Are y'all feeling the energy in here? Or is it just me in there? But that's what it is. Expect to get no's. Because the no's bring you closer to a yes. So that's this whole career is about your mentality. And once you get over that, you get over the fear of doing the phone calls, right? So it doesn't matter if you know them. Any strangers, sometimes strangers are the best clients. But all you're doing is having a conversation and you're getting to know what their needs and wants are and how you can solve their problem and help them find a house or help who they know find a house. So again, social media, even if you're calling that list is one way, but also in your DMs.
No, Dan, I was just gonna say that, Danny brought that up in his class the other day, just sending DMs to people on Facebook.
That's it.
And I thought that was great.
Genius, right?
Yeah.
So, and you have to, success leaves clues, which I think is one of these slides here. But what it is if you notice, if you tap on a business on social media, right? Immediately, or Facebook, whatever it is, immediately somebody might go in your DM and say, hey, Sophia, I see that you just contacted me. Can we help you? Blah, blah, blah. I've received DMs that said, hey, I see that you're a real estate agent. Do you need me to help you get more leads? 10 more leads a month? They're doing it. So why can't we do it, right? So you go into everybody that's following you. Hey, I see that you're following me. Thank you so much for your support. Do you know anyone who's looking to purchase or sell a home at this time?
Yep. So
That's lead generation. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. I know y'all like free stuff. It's free. It is tedious and time consuming, but we're trying to build a plan for you, right? So if you don't have nothing to do, that's something that you can do, right?
perfect.
Any other lead generation?
My mailings, do mailings, right?
Yep, I said farming.
Yep.
I know there's agents that actually have letters. Oh, man. Especially in this office, you have Jeff Hanahan, you have John Rhoda, Kenny, Mark. You have a lot of people who actually do letters and send them out mailing. The EDDMs. And that's not on an everyday basis, but what I do want you guys to get in the habit of, which isn't sliding here, is writing 10 note cards a day.
That's the 4 10s, right?
Yeah. Which we'll get to.
We're gonna get to probably. Okay.
So I'm gonna pass the slide if nobody else has any questions, okay?
So everybody knows what lead generation is. So when we talk, all the new agents, when we talk in a couple of weeks, you're gonna tell me how you're doing with your lead generation and what you're doing, right? Right. Let's go.
And what's follow-up? Because sometimes we don't know what follow-up looks like. So what follow-up I know for me is, gosh, all my clients call me every single day. So I am following up with them, saying, and because you don't want them to feel like they're not special.
Right.
So if it's just, hey, how you doing? Just having a quick conversation with them and updating them because that's what they want in regards to their deal. I know that with my listing, I set an expectation that I would reach out every Friday, whatever day is convenient for them to give them an update and feedback. Following up is talking to attorneys, calling, your lenders, making sure your deals are getting to the closing table. Emails, that's what following up
You
is.
do also open houses lead generation, right?
Oh, we didn't talk about that. So if you, in a lot of our new
Especially now, because
agents.
you can't call, I've been doing open houses every day.
Correct. So for those who do open houses, if you do open house on a Saturday, Sunday, if you do it on a Saturday, do it on a Sunday. If you do it on a Sunday, next day, you should be doing it. So what does that lead generation look like? Once you finish with the open house, I say on the same day, it's an awesome thing to do, is text and say, thank you for coming out to the open house.
Nice.
That same night.
That's awesome.
That's things that people don't do.
You're right.
Then the next day, you're in the office and you got your list of everybody that attended, whether it's 4, whether it's 20, whatever it is. And you're saying, hi, it was so great to meet you yesterday at the open house. I just wanted to call and see if you have any further, feedback for me. And how can I help you?
There's a number ratio. If you follow up Monday versus like Wednesday or Thursday, you'll close like so many more of the people.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yep.
That was it.
And Johan said in his class, he knew an agent. They did 2 open houses on Saturday, like one at 10 to 12, then they went to a different house, they 1 to 3, so they would do 4 different houses. That's amazing. I never.
But
Yeah.
that's for agents, number one, that really want it, and that's for agents. I mean, that's massive, right?
Yeah.
That's free. For the new agents, we always have a list every whatever day that Friday or whatever she sends it out, she sends out an email and saes who wants to do an open house. If you are a new agent and you have no business, You should be doing as many open houses as you possibly can, build your database with that list and build relationships and convert those leads. Yes? So that's what lead generation looks like for open houses, okay? And also in a perfect world, if we were able to, is also for your open houses, knocking on the doors and telling, you know, the neighbors and stuff about the open house. So I'm gonna pass this because we could be on this one all day. Set weekly and daily objectives. The daily success habits are the foundation of growing your business. Now we're going to look at how successful agents incorporate the daily success habits and more into each day to achieve their goals. One of the ways they do this is by using the 411 every week to turn their goals into daily and weekly habits. So let's look at what that looks like. So this is the 411 if you don't know. I have some sheets here so that my attendees can look at it. Let's pass that along here. So this 411 action goal worksheet has what your annual goals are, whether that's I want to sell 24 homes, whether that's I want to sell 10 million in sales value, whatever it is, that's what you would put there. Monthly goals. What are you going to do on a monthly basis to get to that annual goal? I'm going to list 2 properties a month in order to get to 24, right? Or whatever that is, right? And then what are your weekly goals? What are your weekly habits? What are you doing weekly in order to get to your monthly goal, which then in order to get to your annual goal? So I'm sure that you guys have gone through this, but I want you to revisit it and change it around if needed. Like this is something that can be editable on a daily basis, weekly basis. Just print out a whole bunch of them and have them there in order to make that happen. All right?
And this is great for what Jamal talked about yesterday. You need to know your conversions because as you get better in the business, you need to know, like, remember when he called on Johan and Johan was like, I know, I took 28 listings, I went on 54 appointments. So if you figure that out, then you know how many calls you need to make if you want to grow your money. You need to know your conversion.
Let me tell you something. One of the best people to look at that I inspire to be is Johan, right? Because you want to know your numbers like that. Like real estate is a numbers game, right? So if you can know your numbers like the back of your hands, and I've grown so much from not knowing what numbers mean. I was just telling Deanna for business planning on Thursday, the first time I went, everything went right over my head. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah, you don't understand it, yeah. That's why you gotta keep doing it until you get. That's why when people say, "Oh, I already took that," no, you gotta take it.
You gotta take it. That's somebody asked me, "You going?" Yeah, I'm going.
It should be like my 10 times.
Exactly. Yeah. So from the first time that I took it to the second time, I mean, I was here for a year because then I was like, okay, that's how I plug it in. All right,
like, you get it.
Oh, that's what that means. Right? The terminology, you want to learn it. So I do suggest that you come to Thursday.
Yes, there's still seats open for you new agents.
Fantastic.
It's at the Hotel in Rochelle, Lynn has
Hyatt. Yeah, please reach out to the office. It's $50, but it's worth the $50 if you want to plan for next year. Next, we're gonna examine how to turn your weekly goals into daily objectives by applying the 80-20 rule. So I just want to go over the weekly goals real quick because I don't know if I gave examples. So does anybody have an example of what a weekly goal looks like?
Reach out to 5 clients this week.
Very good. Excellent. Anybody else? No? Prospect for an hour. Whatever that, or prospect not for
Trying
an
to
hour.
send
prospect
out,
for
25 letters.
Yeah, send out 10.
Say I'm gonna attend 2 classes.
Preview 10 properties.
Yes.
Stuff like that, right? Great. So this slide talks about there's a pattern of predictability and balance in life. It's called the 80-20 principle, and this 80-20 principle works for absolutely anything, right? So for example, 20% of your effort gives you 80% of your results. That's why I say, do your big rocks, the 20%. And the 20% is only 2 things, and it should only be 2 things for everybody, which is lead generation and follow-up. That's your 20%. Once you do that, it's gonna yield 80% of your results.
And when you get realtors that are like, I feel like I'm doing a lot, but it's not paying off, because they're not doing the numbers the right way.
Yeah.
They're not focused, yeah,
It's flip flop.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
And
So-
they're busy, but it's not the right things that they're doing, and that's what we need to do.
Because they're busy doing the 80% of the busy work, which is yielding them 20% of their
Return.
results.
Yep,
So
sad,
sad.
isn't it?
I know, so sad.
Glad nobody on this call is ever gonna do
Yeah, you don't wanna be in that predicament. You wanna get to the mindset where you're saying, I'm gonna, and that's where I'm at right now. Like, in the morning, I'm blocking out. Nobody can touch me from 8:30 to 10:30. Do not call me. My phone is on silent. I don't wanna be in a meeting. And I'm continuously working on that, right? So I had an accountability meeting at 10 o'clock. I had to call her last week and say, listen, I'm really trying to stick to my guns, so we might have to change it again. Like, you have to stick to it and be consistent.
You know, it's funny, I think we learned, you said it at the beginning, because you had another business, I had another job, so I had to learn this early, because I didn't have time, you know what I mean? So I had to know which things were the most important.
Yeah. And it's just like even with losing weight, you know, if you exercise every day, you're gonna see the results later on, but it's like, it's just,
At the moment, you don't have to.
you don't, yeah, but just get that 20% out of the way. What do I have here? Big rock, so you sent me Jennifer Fowler. Okay, good. I think we analyzed this pretty much. Just a little history. This whole principle was built on Pareto principle. It can help you prioritize and focus on what's important. I said that you can use this throughout absolutely anything, right? So if you look at your closet, you wear 20% of what's in your closet.
But I still won't throw the other stuff out, is that sad?
Yeah, I know. I have a whole other side of that, and only this little section right there that I wear on a daily basis. Like 20% of the agents actually produce in this office.
Yeah.
That's reality of it. Anything you want to put this to the truth, that's what it is. Okay, so next.
You got a lot in the chat, I don't know if people.
Oh, let me check the chat because I see people might be saying something. 7. Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. I can see it. Be nice to Vinny. Okay. We are allowed to call.
Are we allowed to call or do it not? Not yet.
I said in a perfect
Right.
world.
Not yet, Angie, not yet.
In a perfect world. This fear called me a genius. Absolutely not. I'm on Instagram. Okay.
Like Andy's like marketing to us.
What is Andy doing here?
Andy, what your sphere? You
Love
said,
it. Okay, great. So no questions. If you have any questions, please feel free. Or if you just want to market yourself, please put yourself in the chat. Andy. Unbelievable. So set your objectives, right? Translate your weekly goals into daily objectives. So what is this? When developing your daily objectives, focus on how to measure progress towards the goals you identified. Okay, so identify targets that will facilitate your success by using these guiding questions. Okay, is it identifiable? What is your goal?
Like my goal in general, or who is my market?
What is your goal?
To be successful.
Fantastic. What is your goal?
Be a millionaire.
What is your goal? No. What is your number? What is your goal? You want to sell how much this year, for next year, 2022?
I don't know yet. I'll figure it out.
Deanna?
10.
10 houses. She wants to sell 10 houses. That is your goal. That's what you're gonna put on your forehead. That's what you're gonna put on this spot.
now we gotta figure out how to get it, right?
How will you measure your progress towards the attainment of each goal you set? So how is it measurable, right? So how do you measure that? So I know for me, I track every day that I prospect. Like I just printed out like 100-day printable sheet tracker. And I have one for me exercising because I want to exercise every day for the next 100 days. I want to prospect every day for the next 100 days. And I want to set X amount of listings for the next 100 days. So you need to track that, right? And it helps me because visually I'm like, oh my gosh, here's that because I'm almost filled with the page or whatever it may be. In regards to tracking, in regards to prospecting, how many people have you spoken to? Right? And this is something for me that I had to get over because you have to start the action, right? So you don't know what your number is. So as soon as you start calling every day, or as soon as you start talking to 20 people every day, and then at the 15th person, you get a lead, then you know for every 15 people, you might get a lead.
Right.
That's how you get your number, but you have to do the action in order to know what the number is. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, good. Attainable, do you have the correct systems and tools in place to set up your success? So if you are doing Facebook ads, do you have a database where you're putting these people? Do you have a drip campaign? What systems do you have in order to stay in front of these people? Yeah, okay, good. Purposeful, is this goal in alignment with your weekly, monthly, and annual goal? I love that, purposeful. I like intentional. Every action you do should be intentional. Just example, if I'm trying to lose weight, and I have two options. I have the burger from Five Guys, that was really good that day, the Five Guys burger, or I have a salad. Which one am I gonna choose that is gonna bring me closer to my goal? Salad. For our business purposes, lead generation purposes, should I go watch $1 million listing on HGTV, or should I go prospect for an hour? Yeah. So everything that you do, literally get in the habit of asking yourself, is this going to bring me closer to my goal? Is this purposeful? Is this intentional? Right? Okay, good. Timely. When would this goal need to be accomplished? Very, very important that you always stick a time to it. You always are specific in regards to when that is, setting a deadline, right? So I know that by December 31st of 2022, I want to sell 40 properties. Yeah. That's what you, by December 31st of 2022, you want to sell 10. Whatever your goal is, you need to set a date to it. I want to lose 5 pounds by my birthday next week. You know, like whatever it is, put a goal to it. I mean, time. Any questions on that? Okay, fantastic. Sometimes you run it back. Oh, was that just a laugh? Oh, what a crew. Oh, all right. Time blocking. Let's talk about this thing here. Why is this not going? Okay, so time blocking, right? Putting your big rocks into your calendar. I already talked about it. We already looked at an overview of what a calendar should look like. There are classes out there that I could recommend that teach you about time blocking, because I'm telling you, in the beginning, I had no idea what this was, why they keep talking about time blocking, and then you realize how important it is for your business, right? And this is only for the people who are serious.
Do we know what time blocking is? We know what that is? What is it?
Setting out a certain time where you focus on one specific task.
Beautiful.
Very good. Did you guys hear that? Setting a time that you are focused on one specific task. Very good. And having a schedule. We are independent contractors. We are entrepreneurs. Every day, it's just like if we work in a 9 to 5. You need to know in your mind that your business is a 9 to 5 for yourself. Yes, you could alter, you can alternate it. You can change it to make it convenient for your schedule and your lifestyle. But it's a business. From this time to this time, I'm working on my business, right? And it should be time blocked.
You know what happens sometimes too with that? People think you're a realtor, right? So you make your own schedule, so people will actually ask you to do things for them within that time. And if you don't respect your time, other people are not going to respect your time.
It's so true. In the beginning, in my career, I would drop anything to go show a property. But now I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't show it from 8:30 to 11:30. I can show anytime after 11:30. One of the things that I know, and I realized that because, like, even with my son, I'm not gonna overlook my son. My son is time blocked. I have to pick him up. So I know I can't schedule a showing or anything at 2:45. That's what time blocking is, right? And sticking to it.
No, and did you notice that she said she was gonna go show a buyer a house, but she realized she had to lead gen. So
More
this is what we're talking about, the big rocks. That's more important than showing to buy her house. And people don't understand that when they first start. So that shows you the weight of lead generator. And sometimes I think people like to put off lead generators, so they like to do something else because they don't want to make those calls, but it's hard, you know what I mean?
It is hard to time block. I have been fighting with it forever.
For years, yeah, everybody.
Because if an inspector says,
Yep.
oh, can you do an inspection at 9?
There's some things that you gotta alter, but you gotta give it back, and some people don't give it back.
But I can ask them,
Yeah.
it's questions, right? That's how our industry too, our career is asking good questions, like, do you have any time after 11?
Yep.
Can you do it a Wednesday? Tomorrow I'm gonna be in business planning, which is important. My client said, I need you here, can you be here because they're gonna come and put the garage on track. I said, can they do it on Wednesday? Because I don't wanna miss Thursday. Right? So stuff like that, making sure the important things are in your calendar and that yes, certain things might have to be done. That's so true. But not on a daily basis. Right? Okay. Everybody understand that? Create accountability, right? So what does that look like? Be accountable. Accountability is an attitude and an approach. Accountability is a tool for changing and achieving your results. Accountability is a dynamic cycle, not a static concept. Interesting. So what does that cycle look like? Set your goals, do the key activities, measure results, evaluate the process, and make adjustments, and then repeat. Keep doing it. So, do you guys have an accountability partner?
Myself?
Yes.
Thank you, Danny.
We're gonna get one.
1 minute,
We're gonna
Danny.
get one for coming.
You have no?
Yeah.
Do you have, who's your accountability partner?
You were one of
Right.
Once or twice a week, I gotta sit in front of you.
Right. So, Danny, who's yours?
My admin.
Yeah, admin. So that's good, right? So accountability is big, and I like that you said yourself, because I do hold myself accountable, first and foremost, right? And I beat myself up really bad, and I think I'm my worst critic. But it's always good. There are several agents that sit down on a weekly basis and have discussions and say, what are our goals, Vinny? What do we want to do this week? Let's meet back, and then on the next, what are my goals? These are the things that I plan on doing this week, right? And this is how I'm gonna measure it. I'm gonna track, all the people that I talk to. Hopefully I talk to 20, I'm gonna track it, right? I'm gonna have all the names and everything. And then when we meet the next Monday, then I'm gonna say, this is how it worked out for me. I only talked to 10. And I think it's because, I got up and I used the bathroom 10 times and I had coffee. I wasn't focused, Vinny. But this week, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make adjustments. I'm gonna use, this strategy where I'm gonna focus for 15 minutes, hardcore, and then I'm gonna take a break. And then I'm gonna focus for another 15, and then that's how I'm gonna do it for next week, all right? And then we'll talk about how that works next. You see how that works? That's accountability partner, and you share that. I say mine, he says his, you talk about what's happening, and then you move forward. Yeah? All right, good. Danny uses his admin, which is fantastic, because if you have an executive administrator, admin, a transaction coordinator, whoever you have to say, did you send that out? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you write out your list of resources? Did you?
Danny, what does that look like? What are you reporting to her, like how many calls you made?
Not so much. It's more like keeping her busy, right? Making sure that she has stuff to do. Staying on track of what we. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure my mic was on. Staying on track with the projects that we have lined up. And so it's kind of like it's two-sided. It's a little bit double-edged, right? One is coming up with new ideas, new projects, and then the other side is keeping track and following up on the projects that we have in place. So it's always keeping you thinking. It's always keeping me on my toes. It's making sure that she's busy, and then therefore I'm busy. So
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Danny, because that's a whole nother level. That's when you have A team, that's when you're doing a certain amount of business. It turns from, you can still always talk to somebody in the office in
Right.
regards to another
Right.
agent, but being able to, feel like what you do, Danny, is like you are accountable for working on your business,
Right.
right? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
It's running the business
Right,
stuff
right, right.
that you're holding her
And
accountable.
we're talking about when two different agents
Yeah.
say, I'm gonna lead generate this much, and then they report back, I made 20 calls.
Exactly.
You hold yourself to the number.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it
And a lot of
helps.
agents do it in here, and it definitely does help.
It does help, it does. So the one thing again, I suggest that you guys read that book. Gary cites Dr. Gail Matthews, who found that individuals who wrote down their goals are 39.5% more likely to succeed. Individuals who wrote down their goals and shared progress reports with their friend were 76.7% more likely to succeed.
That's accountability.
That's big.
Yep.
So you could write it down. I can say I'm gonna lose weight, but if I post a picture on Instagram and share it with the world, more likely I'm gonna lose that weight.
Yep.
Oh, that's not a good picture. Now, all right, so that's that. Accountability, create a plan for accountability. Share your goals. What are your long, medium, and short-term goals? Plan your check-ins. What day are you gonna do it? How often do you need to check in? What method of communication is ideal? And then make a date. When are you willing to meet to check in? I think I said that already backwards, but you get the gist of it, right? I feel like I do that automatically with a lot of different people because I talk to like certain people on a daily basis and we're always brainstorming. So like accountability is big. Any ahas so far? Anything that I missed?
All good.
All good? All right, well, participants are now, so you guys are now well on your way to building habits that we know from the millionaire real estate agent lead to success. You guys need to be doing certain things. Right now, I don't want to read that. Hold on. Okay. So goals to set your career on fire. I don't know what that says. On something. So one of the things that you need to do on a daily basis, right, is do 10 contacts added to your CRM, to your database a day. 10. Let me tell you, it's not easy.
You know what I tell people, even if you're not gonna do 10, do 5, do something.
No, well,
You know
your
what I mean?
goal should be 10 and then
Right.
whatever you get, that's great.
Yep.
But 10 is your goal,
Yep.
a day, right? I told for new agents, just a simple tip, go in your phone. I don't care if you know them, you don't know them, but if they're in their phone, that means for some reason you talk to them one way or another. And you're going to text. Are you writing this down? No?
I'm listening to
You gotta text. Because I'm gonna hold you accountable. Deanna already knows the assignment. I'm in the sign. No, Deanna already knows that. I'm gonna be asking, I wanna see the text messages to everyone in her phone that says, hi, my name is Deanna Fortune. I've met you in the past, so I see that we spoke in the past. I just want to let you know that I am a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty Group in Scarsdale, New York. Do you know anyone that is looking to buy or sell real estate?
Got it?
That's it. So easy. Copy and paste and send.
So now someone answers. Now they get added.
They get added to the database. You start a conversation because now it's two-way. I did this yesterday because I think we talked about database yesterday a little bit in our meeting, right? And I do things on the spot. So I was like, oh my God, I did not contact this client. Let me go back in my sphere of influence. And I contacted maybe 3 or 4 people. 2 of them responded. One said, oh my God, Sophia, I was just talking about you. I gave your number to my coworker. The other one said, oh my God, I just did it. It's like automatic once you start doing the action, right?
That's two names. You get the coworker.
That's 2 names.
Right there, yep.
I'm always busy.
So 10 conversations.
10 conversations a day, right? So what I just had 2-way is a conversation, right? 10 contacts added into your CRM, 10 conversations a day, 2 totally different things.
Right.
okay? 10 written notes. This is serious, like I'm in this group, Glover University, he is a, real estate agent with Keller Williams, really big. And I think he's in, where is he at? You know, I can't. But if you guys want, you can, go into his, face group. And I mean, literally handwritten notes. There's people taking pictures of them doing their handwritten notes on a daily basis. And it blows my mind. Because that really takes discipline, commitment.
Have you been doing it?
Dedication. No, you see what I do.
Okay.
I need to master these lists, like that's my thing, is mastering the listings. But this is what, ideally, if you could technically prospect and you find houses that might fit the needs of your clients, this is how I use it, right? And I find houses that look like, oh my God, this is expired. I might not be able to call them, but we can send a note. So you have all your papers together, you have your letter already done. I have a letter, if you want, I can send it to you what it looks like. All you're doing is sign and date. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. You look up the public information for their name, you fold it, you put the address on, and you make sure you have 10 of those sent out that day.
I thought that was more for, as well, when you meet people. And you had
Oh, that too, but I use it for prospecting.
For prospecting as well, okay.
Mhm.
So you could do that.
So 2 different ways. I use it for prospecting, for reaching out to get listings.
Right,
He's using it for, if I talk to you
right.
today, I'm gonna send you a handwritten note.
Exactly.
Nice. Neither way is wrong. I might implement both ways, right, and do both things. So how bad do you really want it, that you wanna do everything to make it happen, right? And last but not least, preview 10 homes per week, that's 2 a day. In your neighborhood, you should know everything that's.
Why is that important, guys, to preview 10 homes? Because as a buyer, when you're taking out buyer, when you first start, that's probably who you're gonna be working with. Your job is not to sell them, show them 100 houses, it's to show them the houses that fit their needs. So by you previewing it, you don't have to take them there. If you keep taking them to houses they don't like, they're gonna be like, is this person listening to us? You know, right? And seeing their needs.
That's true. And it's also making you knowledgeable in regards to being,
Specialist.
Specialist in your, you say you're a local real estate agent, then you should know the market. You should know the houses.
How you gonna
in
stand
the
out?
areas.
There's a lot of people doing this business, right?
Exactly. So if a client says, and they do this all the time, oh, Sophia, I just sent you a property. Oh, I saw that property. And you know what? You're not gonna like it because the entire basement is like a mess. That wood paneling, you don't wanna go there. You know what I mean?
Just something like that, it's impressive, seriously.
Yeah.
People come to your open house and they're like, this doesn't fit us. You know what? Well, 77 Vernon's on the market, that might fit.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Very important. And even just your neighbors, my neighbor comes and says, oh, did you know that property was on? Yep, I do know. It went on the market for $5.99. It just went into contract, blah, 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 because I know it. It's not that big. It don't even look as nice as yours. You know what I mean? Like, you know the properties already. So really important stuff. Scripts. Why is it important to learn, internalize, and personalize your scripts? Tracy just got a call. Very nice, Tracy. Go work. Oh no. Internalizing your scripts. I cannot say this enough. It's so important to know what to say when you're in front of your clients, when you're on your phone with your clients, when you're prospecting, when you're lead gen, whatever you want to say. You need to know what to say. That's why, like with Deanna, I told her immediately start watching YouTube videos, because when I didn't know, that's how I learned. One of the other things that really helped me was that, oh no, that was it, YouTube University helped me. I got like Mike Ferry scripts. I got Tom Ferry scripts. I just got so many scripts and just started to learn the language and learning how your voice and, goes, the tonality and absolutely everything matters when you're talking to people.
And when you do it enough, you're gonna uncover the same objection, and you're gonna learn how people. I don't want to pay a commission. Boom! I know exactly.
You already know.
Yeah,
write it down. I have them at home. Write it down on the index, and I go through them all the time. And what you're gonna see yourself transforming right before your eyes once you start internalizing it. When I first started on the team, Mel was my mentor, and we used to role play at 5 o'clock in the morning. Role playing is extremely important. Role play is me and you going back and forth on a script, on objections. And literally, you'll see that you start to know what to say. Hi, this is Sophia Swan from Keller Williams Realty Group in Scott. Sometimes I say that so freely, it's just ridiculous. I say that when my mother calls me. She's like, you know, I'm not a client, right? And I'm like, I'm sorry. You know, like it has to be in you. You have to breathe it, eat it, smell it.
It does the bottom thing, build confidence,
And it,
right? Once you start to know what you're talking about, that's important.
very important. And it really, at any stage, right? Lead generate, uncover motivations by asking really important questions, identify objections, close deals, speak in terms the customer understands, which I'm really good at. I'm good at talking to people and and explaining to them and on their level. Does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense for you to go out there and talk and use big verbiage and language that people don't understand. People want somebody they can relate to. So be yourself and break it down so that they understand. All my clients say that's one of my best attributes is that I explain it to them so that they can understand.
That's awesome.
So, and it does build confidence. When I wanted to become a listing agent, I studied that script like crazy, looked at the video like crazy. And when I walked in there and walked out and got that listing, oh, you can't tell me. Dun, 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 dun. That's the song I heard. I'm crazy, right? But I literally have the Money, Money, Money song. It builds your confidence. You gotta walk the walk, dress the dress, talk the talk, memorize and internalize scripts. I have fun with myself, guys. So that's pretty much it. You know, for the rest of the day, guys, you guys can role play, script practice for 30 minutes. Lead generate for an hour, calling with the scripts. I write the scripts, I say it to myself 3 times. If I'm practicing by calling those leads that I got from Facebook, you're practicing your introduction, you're practicing, and then it comes out. And it's beautiful.
We have Josue on the Untitled team with those script class. You can look that up. And he also said if anybody wants to shadow him, just reach out. And
y'all better jump on that.
Watch what he does. So.
First thing I did when I was an agent in here was went right behind Johan. Because I loved him because he was so structured and I wanted to see what is he doing.
Right.
And I spent the day in their little booth, small just like this, and I listened to, well, at the time it wasn't Josue, but I even shadowed Josue. I was Josue's role play, we were role play partners because I want to learn from the best.
Right.
He's no joke. One time I missed one appointment for our role play and that was it, I lost him. And I'm still crying over that 10 years later because he's the best. So like find somebody who has the same energy as you, the same motivation, the same goals, and then y'all, you know, that's what you do. Does anybody have any questions? I want to hear some ahas. I want to hear what have we taken away from today's class?
What did we learn that we're going to use? That's it. Milady, what do you got?
Pretty much everything, because I'm like right starting from zero here. This was amazing. Everything. I was like writing notes and.
Is there anything that stood out to you that you weren't expecting because you're in a real
The importance of lead generation and follow-up and how to obtain that and the discipline that you really need to have day to day. And repeating that discipline is really what's going to help propel you forward.
Love it, milady, and I love your name.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Danny, what did you take away? I know you're seasoned, but I know you took away something.
Setting the calendar, staying with it, setting your goals, staying with them, waking up earlier. I want to be part of that 5 a.m. club, so I need to get on that.
Danny, I'm still ahead of you at 4, but that's
I know,
all right.
that's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
And George?
Hey guys, I think that one of the other classes we talked about the time blocking and putting it on the calendar and setting up that lead generation time, and I started to do that a couple of weeks ago, and that's been really helpful for me to kind of hold myself accountable with the Google Calendar and the alerts on my phone.
Very good, Joyce. Thank you for that. And Christina?
Yeah, hi. I think setting a goal and working for it, I like that. Depends how you feel and how you, yeah, you know your situation. So that's, sorry. Setting the goal and yeah, that's what I like. It. Set the goal. Yeah, right. I like the idea that you said between salad and the burger. I would recommend nothing because that's how you lose weight faster. But you know, I like this class. Very good. It was helpful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you. And what about you, Tish? Tisha? Tisha?
Tish, you there?
Oh, you might be at work. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, I think that this class was absolutely fantastic. Thank you again for coming and participating. And again, I'm always here for absolutely anybody who needs any help, any guidance, or you just want to chat, or you don't know where to start, or whatever it may be, reach out to me. Thank you for coming. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Great class.
Bye, my lady. I love that name.